This season's entry from NBC in the crime and mystery department just wrapped season 1, and you can check out all 10 episodes now on Peacock. Let's talk about The Hunting Party. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for The Hunting Party. This just wrapped season 1, and you can check it out on Peacock now. I don't know if we're getting a season 2. No word either way has been announced yet, but it is the beginning of May, so the network should be doing their upfronts in the next week or two, and that usually tells the audience and advertisers what shows will be returning, what shows will be maybe on the shelf for mid-season, and which shows are dead in the water. And this does end apparently on a cliffhanger. I didn't watch all 10 episodes. I watched the first few just to get a good idea for the review, which we'll get to in a second. But if obviously, it does not get renewed, we will be left with a cliffhanger, which is, of course, unfortunate for the fans of the show. But we'll see what happens there. So before we launch into the review, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a subscriber of Dan Reviews It, thank you so much for that. I love it when you guys return. But if you're not, please consider subscribing and click that notification bell and do all the other things that help people find my videos via the YouTube algorithm, liking it, sharing it on your socials, commenting below, all that stuff. Okay, so if you watched Manifest, you will know the lead actress here, Melissa Roxborough, and this actually just started getting underway when Manifest was winding down. So I don't know if NBC was like, hey, we like Melissa Roxborough, we like working with her, we want to stay in the Roxborough biz, let's find a show for her. And this is, as far as I can tell, not based on any existing material. It's not based on a book or anything. So, an original concept, and I guess they thought of her or whatever. But this went straight to series too. There was no pilot here. In the streaming universe, there's never really a pilot. They just say, okay, let's put these 8 or 10 episodes up and see what sticks. But in network television, doing a pilot is still pretty much the norm. But obviously, NBC had a lot of confidence in this show and went right for it. So Melissa Roxborough plays a special agent Rebecca Henderson. She goes by Bex, and she is a criminal profiler. And we have her former partner and lover, Oliver, played by Nick Wechsler, and Ryan, who is a CIA agent, played by Patrick Sebungi. I don't know him. And then we have an Army intelligence officer as well, played by Jennifer, and then a prison officer named Shane, played by Josh Mackenzie. Now, that is important because that is the main premise of the show. So there is this underground silo called the Pit, which is unknown to the public. And basically, it houses people who were thought to be dead. Death row inmates that supposedly died. To the public, they died. Even to, police records or whatever, they died. But no, they were sent to this place called the Pit. Now, I will say it's unfortunate that it's called the Pit because there is a show that actually debuted, I think, within about a week of this show, called The Pit on Max, and it is my favorite show of the year. It's got Noah Wiley. It's a doctor show, and it's sort of just unfortunate that the main focal point of this show is called The Pit, and that's also the Pit. But whatever, that's some unfortunate timing. But her job, Bex, is to basically hunt these people down. She learns of the underground prison in the first episode, and there has been a breach, there has been a break, and so all of these now very, very dangerous criminals are out and about, and the public still doesn't know either. So she is trying to hunt them down, and each episode is a different criminal that we're focusing on. So in effect, this is a procedural, which means there's no real through line through it. All of those CBS shows, NCIS and Criminal Minds and whatever, CSI, they're all procedurals. Law and Order, procedural. But after Lost, really, I guess, came out, everybody was looking for, okay, let's do these shows where, they have to watch every episode, and there's going to be, little hints here and there every time and whatever. And streaming, look, has made that easy, certainly, and we can watch, as many episodes as we want in a row of something. But there is still something to be said for the classic procedural model. You can just kind of dip in anytime, watch an episode, and okay, there's the criminal of the week. And then, if you miss the next episode, no big deal. Now, they do some background stuff here as well. There are flashbacks, mostly they do a lot of flashbacks, I guess, for the criminals themselves, too. But the main sort of trio here, Bex, Oliver, and Ryan, especially, Bex and Oliver with their history, we see flashbacks with them throughout. So yes, we are getting some character development throughout. But like most series that are sort of framed in this way, that's not the main focal point. And so they give us such little information each episode that if you miss one, okay, you miss like one nugget of information or whatever that maybe they'll bring up again too. So that's not really the main focal point. It's tracking the criminals, figuring out their mindset, since she is, a criminal profiler. And it's funny because she played a detective, I think it was, on Manifest. I didn't watch a lot of Manifest, but I watched like the first 5 or 6 episodes back when it started. The acting was too bad for me. A lot of bad acting in that show. Not from her, though. I thought she was good. And obviously NBC agreed. But she played a detective there, and here, she's an FBI agent and a criminal profiler. So not completely out of her range that we've already seen her, give us. But I do think she gives a great performance here. And this is interesting to me because this is really getting bashed by the critics. And I don't know if that will, hinder it when NBC goes to figure out if they're going to renew it. But it stands at an 18% with critics on Rotten Tomatoes. The audience score much higher. But 18% on Rotten, and I think like 34 or something on Metacritic. So the critics not really loving this. And I have to say, I don't think it's the greatest show of the year or anything. That's the real pit. But I actually rather enjoyed watching this. I think the stories are interesting. I love the concept. Now, I will say the script is a little bit dumbed down. I think the audience is maybe a step or two ahead of the FBI, most of the time, which I don't know that I love that. I'd like to be sort of getting the clues at the same time as them. But I actually rather enjoyed this show. Now, like I said, I didn't watch the whole season. I watched a few episodes just to get a taste for it so I could review it. But I definitely think I will go back. Even if there is no season 2, I'll probably eventually go back and watch the rest of these episodes. Because I think it's interesting. I think Roxborough does a good job, too, as the lead detective here. And, the character development stuff, that's going to come, I guess, if there's many seasons forward. What I would have liked to see more of is the sort of history of the silo itself, the pit, and find out what the story is, sort of that lies beneath that, and how it came to be, and all that. Maybe that's something they're saving for future seasons as well. I don't know. But look, for what we have, I think this is a pretty decent show. I leave it like in that B, maybe B minus range, but I will give it the benefit of the doubt just because other critics are being so harsh on it. I will leave The Hunting Party with a B, and you can check out the first 10 episodes of this on Peacock, and we'll see in a week or two if we get a renewal here from NBC. All right, thank you so much for watching Dan Reviews It, and I'll see you next time.